Wow.
So
We'll have some video a bit later
forward to
on.
that.
Yeah.
Weather was, whew, boy.
You
Still
would have
trying to get
liked
my
a
bearings. It was
nice
quite
calm
turbulent.
day.
Yeah, it was. Made for an interesting flight, for sure, but weather much better today. We're dealing with mainly sunny conditions across the area. 67 degrees currently at the airport in Yakima, 63 degrees in Ellensburg at this hour, 66 for the Tri-Cities. Walla Walla checking in at 58 degrees, and again, all areas reporting mostly sunny conditions, and already we're warmer than we were yesterday as far as the highs are concerned, so you can see that we're warming up. 73 degrees the expected high for Yakima today. Partly cloudy, northwest winds at 10 to 20, a little bit breezy perhaps at times, but a calm day overall. Partly cloudy for the basin, 75 degrees, and just a nice afternoon. And is it going to stick around as we head in the next few days? The weekend, we'll have that answer for you coming up in 10 minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. Top of our news, apple growers face could withstand almost anything. Today, they are treasured items of America's past. There are only 13 fighting machines left, and they are here on a national tour, drafty and dangerous. And these bombers had few places for crew members to go, but great views to see where they were bombing. One vet we talked to yesterday recalls flying in the historic B-24.
And my bombardier was sitting in the turret because we weren't a lead plane. So I would set up the intervalometer, and I'd set up all the switches and everything for the bombs, and I'd make sure the bomb bay door open. And one other thing I did, this is on the bomb run, the other thing I did, I had my hand on the salvo handle. In case they didn't go, I'd try and shove them out all at once, because you want to get those bombs out of there.
Wow, yesterday our own Mike McCabe and Michelle Perot got the opportunity to fly in these historic planes. What an experience.
It was an experience of a lifetime, without a doubt. And being in the plane, being a passenger and looking around this big plane, I started to think of the fact that these were flown in World War II and what the young men must have thought as they were actually in combat. I was there for pleasure, but these men were up there wondering if they were going to get shot down or not.
Interesting to talk to that veteran and others.
Very interesting, and felt very privileged to do that. All these people standing by looking at this plane. Here I'm flying on it, but I'm here to talk about it and communicate it to you.
There you go.
Get a chance to check it out there
and
at
those
the airport
planes,
in
through today, they'll be at the Yakima airport, and there's opportunities for tours and for flights. So.
Yes. Check it out if you can.
Great opportunity. Well, stay with us. Much more on News at Noon. You're going to have weather.
We have weather. We have
how long it'll
garden expert on with us today.
That's right. Some help and tips and caring for your beautiful containers. So stay with us. With us for a little
On the
while?
way, perhaps? Yeah, I think that
at least the warmth is nice.
It is nice.
Yes.
It's very comfortable, too. I mean, we're not talking about hot temperatures here, just very comfortable in the 70s, and that's what we expect for today. Let's take a look now at some current conditions across the basin at this hour, and we're talking mainly sunshine here across the basin. We were dealing with some clouds earlier this morning as an area of low pressure kind of brought with it some clouds in our area as well. It has pushed off to the east into Idaho now. As a result of that, we're seeing some clearing, and temperatures much warmer than they were yesterday. Still below normal for this time of year, though, if you can believe that, but very comfortable. 67 degrees currently at the airport in Yakima, as well as Toppin is checking in at 67, 63 for Ellensburg, and mostly sunny conditions here. A beautiful afternoon. Get outside and enjoy it if you can. Let's take a look at the Pacific Satellite Radar and see what has happened here. The area of low pressure that brought the clouds and unsettled weather here yesterday has now moved into Idaho. We also have another area of low pressure to the north of us over Canada, which originated from the Gulf of Alaska, that will stay to our north. But as a result of that system pushing east, we're seeing high pressure develop across the northwest. That means sunshine. Still a little bit cool as far as the highs are concerned, but certainly feels a lot like summer, considering what we were dealing with yesterday. Across the U.S., we're talking about some scattered showers and thunderstorms, some severe weather popping up perhaps in portions of the northern plains, and still seeing some, well, little remnants there of Tropical Depression Allison that has brought so much rain to that part of the country. They don't need any more rain, that's for sure. Enjoy the afternoon. Partly cloudy conditions, 75 degrees the expected high for the Tri-Cities. Overnight low tonight at 46. Walla Walla look for a high of 71. 73 for Yakima. And Ellensburg should be at 69 degrees with overnight lows into the 40s. And then tomorrow more of the same, maybe a couple degrees warmer, mid to upper 70s. And that's what we're going to be dealing with. Heading over the mountains, beautiful, plenty of sunshine. Highs today in the mid-50s. Overnight lows should be in the 40s. And heading over to Seattle, not bad. Plenty of sunshine there with 66 in Seattle. Portland checking in at 70 degrees. Astoria at 62. So, yeah, not a bad forecast, and it's going to be nice. Our extended forecast for the basin calls for plenty of sunshine right through the end of the week. A few clouds perhaps on Sunday and Monday. Temperatures slowly warming up to normal, where they should be for this time of year. And the Yakima area. Oops, I just clicked past the Yakima area. I didn't mean to do that so quickly. Much of the same, just like Tri-Cities. Just a couple degrees
Just
cooler.
a couple degrees
Getting ahead of
cooler.
myself here.
Always a
I'm
little
all
cooler.
excited.
Yeah, well,
But,
it's nice
nice
weather
forecast.
throughout the Northwest, so
Yes,
thanks
indeed.
for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
There's no exception. We have Ed Becker. You're familiar with him, our master gardener. And,
Thank you very much.
Brought a wonderful guest with us today.
No pressure.
Yes, Jeannie Stevens, owner of Cowichy
Yes.
Creek Nursery, which is an excellent nursery.
Yes.
We're kind of talking color, you were saying, Ed, and
Yeah.
hanging baskets.
Well, it's the time of year. We've had all that cold weather unseasonably and wind, and nothing takes the place of color. And no one I know in this valley has a greener thumb than Jeannie Stevens. And so we're happy to have her with us today.
Welcome,
And
Jeannie.
some of her baskets, people come from all over the Northwest to buy baskets at Cowichy Creek
And it's
Nursery.
not hard to see why. Boy, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
Heidi, I was just going to say, what do we need to know about hanging baskets if we're thinking of buying one or maybe putting one together? What are some things to keep in mind?
Well, first thing is you need to discuss or decide which area you're putting it in for sun or shade, and that's the biggest factor. A lot of people will realize what they actually have. They'll have some trees that might be shading area. They come in and say, we face south,
Right.
but they don't tell me they have a big tree in the way. So that's what we first discover when somebody comes out. Do you have, is it a requirement for shade or sun? And then we can start helping them pick the
Decide
plants.
the plants. This is a unique hanging basket here because it encompasses the whole basket.
It's a
Can you tell us
moss-lined basket.
Now, on a planter like this, would you need to soak this every day?
Yes, you do. Thoroughly once a day is usually sufficient. If we get, over 100 degrees and it's wind blowing, then you may need to do it twice. But once
And when
it's
you say
usually-
thoroughly, to the point of it dripping?
right,
Right, okay.
yeah.
And you have this wonderful example here, which I'm going to guess is a sun-loving
It is.
basket.
It is.
What about shade hanging baskets? And can you have color in shade?
Oh yes, definitely. This is actually a shade basket here. It's not a
Okay.
And
hanging
this is
basket, but
beautiful.
we do shade baskets just like this
Of
in
course, we got some
shade.
nice color there
Is
as
this a
well.
begonia?
That's a begonia. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I didn't ask.
Learning a
I didn't
lot.
study ahead.
So really, they're not that hard to maintain then.
No, they're really not.
Yes.
If you have a drip system, they're almost carefree. But
Right.
if you don't, then you do have to make a commitment of watering.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to do is just be consistent
Right.
on their watering. And if you do it thoroughly in the morning, it should be fine.
Now, what if you go on vacation or extended weekend and you don't water? There is hope to replace some of the plants
you
if
can
they do
replace
die,
some
right?
of the plants. Sometimes just cutting them back, refertilizing, soaking
Might
it back up
rejuvenate them.
will help. Yes.
Okay.
I found they're pretty forgiving too. If you
They
know,
are.
I've watered a few that look dead, and they
Right.
come back
Yeah.
really nicely. Is this going to bloom all year round? This
Definitely, it'll go
all season
until
long, I guess.
hard frost, and a lot of times we'll have them look like this through the end of October.
That's
Isn't that
great.
It's
That
fantastic.
is wonderful.
When putting one together, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
going
no, go
nuts here.
ahead,
This
go
is
ahead.
one of my hobbies here. Putting one of these things together, then it starts off small. Then does it fill out? I mean, spacing wise.
Yeah. This basket here has probably been planted probably about a month.
Okay. It's
And
already
in the
probably filled
greenhouse,
out.
so it has
Yeah.
filled out. It continued just to get larger and bigger, but you start with smaller plants, and then when you first see them, you see a lot of moss,
Yeah.
and then it starts to
Right.
fill out.
And speaking of the moss, I don't know if we can get a tight shot, but you can also, if you do it yourself, you can get the moss. Buy
Correct.
the moss from nurseries like yourself.
That's correct.
Seasonally.
You have a lot of hanging baskets there already done for
We
folks
do.
who just want
We
to have it all
definitely
done,
do.
plus the
Yes.
plants to do themselves. Jenny, I'm sure glad to have you along.
Yeah,
And, thanks for
great.
sharing
Thank
with us.
you.
Ed, as always, thank you.
And especially good tip on the watering too with the wind. Don't
Yes.
forget if it's windy but cool. Water.
Right. Right.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming.
for having me.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Fisher Broadcasting.